How's it going, my evil residents? Today we are going to go over kind of an interesting topic that I've wanted to go over for a while. I ended up asking you guys in a poll if I should publish this video before I published it, because I wasn't sure with all the stuff going on right now with Mr. Beast if I should, and I'm just gonna do it before things get worse. And this video is completely unsalvageable. So today we're going to find out, can Mr. Beast, the YouTube guy, the YouTube man for now, can he afford the Spencer Mansion? The place I started with for figuring this out was, first off, where would the Spencer Mansion be? How much does it cost? And how big is it? So the first question, there's two popular fan theories about where Raccoon City / the Arklay Mountains are. One is Missouri by the Ozark Mountains. The other is like Denver, Colorado type location because it's kind of near a desert, where in RE2 Remake, Leon, Claire, and Sherry just kind of show up in a desert after taking a 5-minute train ride, which is hilarious, by the way. Absolutely hilarious. So for this, I'm gonna do if the mansion was located in Denver, Colorado, if like just for property value's sake. Honestly, between Denver and Missouri, the property value wouldn't change too much from what I researched anyways, so it kind of doesn't really matter, but it does matter because if the Spencer Mansion was in somewhere like California, or if it was in like Florida or an expensive state like that, it would cost a lot more money just for the same exact house, just because of where it's located. So yeah, we're gonna go with the Spencer Mansion being in like the Denver, Colorado area or the mountains nearby it. First up, the average cost of a regular home. Just for comparison's sake, your average like 2-bedroom, 1 or 2 bath home is gonna run you $400,000 to $500,000 in Denver, Colorado, just for a place to kind of base this around for the comparison of regular house versus Spencer Mansion. Next up, I had to figure out how big is the Spencer Mansion, and this took me a while. And I will explain how I figured out. I figured out the about perfect square footage of the Spencer Mansion. So the first thing I did was I needed something that I could get the real life dimensions of that I knew would be accurate to kind of base next to a wall to measure the size of that versus the size of the wall, and then figure out like the pixels per inch of the image, and then take that onto a different image and take the inches from the pixels per inches to this, and then the inches to the other one to figure out the pixels per inch of the big map that I had that is an exact copy of the map in the game that you get, so it's based off of that map. And the first thing I did was I actually measured off of the Samurai Edge. I used Jill's Samurai Edge for a perspective tool, and the Samurai Edge is 8.5 inches long. I compared that with the pixels per inch to Jill's height, and I immediately knew this wouldn't work because Jill came out to being 4 feet tall with this, and Jill is not 4 feet tall. So what I ended up doing was I took Jill's canon height listed in Resident Evil 5, which is 5'6". So it's all kind of based around the fact that Jill is 5'6", and that's I don't know if that's how tall she exactly is in Resident Evil 1 Remake. I'm assuming it's going to be kind of similar because, you know, same character, but all these numbers are not exact. None of the numbers in this are exact. This is a guess. This is as close as I could possibly get because the Spencer Mansion doesn't actually exist and stuff like that. So yeah. So figuring this out, we find out that the pixels per inch of this image that I have here is 4.4 pixels per inch, and that we can use that to figure out that the width of this wall is 103.4 inches. So we got the length of this wall, which on the big map is this wall right here. Using this knowledge, how long this wall is, we can then figure out the length of all of the other walls based on the pixels of the image. So I painstakingly went through every single room in the Spencer Mansion with a drawing tool, figured out the exact pixels per inch of the wall, converted it to inches, found the square inches, and I put it all in a spreadsheet, and I figured it out. And to convert it all to square feet, the amount that I got, this is not the exact number because the map is probably not drawn exactly to scale with the Spencer Mansion, and there were a couple of really intricate rooms where I just kind of guesstimated and shaved off a little bit because I'm not a geometry major, and that sounded really hard, and this had already taken me 2+ hours. So it's about 55,777 square feet. That's how big the Spencer Mansion is. And now I had to look up the price of different homes and stuff like that that was this amount of square footage. A mansion in LA that is about 55,000 square feet recently sold in LA for $5 million, which is insane. And if we assume that Raccoon City is somewhere in Denver, Colorado, up in like the mountain area, like like the Rockies next to. It's going to be kind of similar if you assume it's in Missouri near the Ozarks, kind of similar areas. It would be about a quarter of this price. That house that I mentioned would be about a quarter of that price. It would be about $13,750,000. However, with between the age of the Spencer Mansion, it would probably be considered like some kind of landmark or something like that. The amount of intricate like sculpturing, all of the priceless art, priceless artifacts in the mansion, just the intricate design of the mansion, all the statues and things like that. I added about 5 million on top of this value just because property values, nicer, more amount of nice stuff you have in your house, more expensive the house is, even if that stuff doesn't necessarily add up to that amount, if that makes sense. So I'm going to round this up to about $18 million. So the Spencer Mansion, if you buy it in either of these locations, this is going to depend a lot on where the Spencer Mansion is. If you buy it in Denver, Colorado, if you assume Raccoon City is located there, or if you assume it's in Missouri near the Ozarks, it's going to cost you about $18 million to buy the Spencer Mansion, which measures out to 55,800 square feet, give or take a few hundred, because my math was definitely not perfect. And now, after this, how much is Mr. Beast worth, and could he actually afford this? As of writing this was the easiest part of the video. Mr. Beast is worth about $700 million. So yes, he could pretty easily afford the Spencer Mansion if he really wanted to. He could definitely afford to rent it out for content, because in a video about 6 months ago, he rents out an island worth about the same amount of money. So at the very least, he could definitely afford to rent it out for video, like I said, but I'm 99% sure that he could buy the mansion. I'm pretty sure. Obviously I'm not one of his accountants or anything like that, but if you're worth $700 million, I'm sure you could buy an $18 million house or mansion or whatever. Again, this is not a perfect number. This is all kind of slightly rounded, not perfect geometry, but this is about as close as I reasonably could get. I'm sure people that know math and know architecture and know all that stuff and know property values could probably figure this out more exactly, but I haven't seen anyone else try to figure this out precisely, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And yeah, Mr. Beast could probably afford the Spencer Mansion. Yeah, that's the video. Anyway, that is gonna do it for this video. If you liked it, feel free to drop a like. If you disliked it, feel free to say why you disliked it in the comments and leave that dislike. I just want to know why you disliked it so I can make my content as good as possible. We do also have channel memberships up on the channel. If you would like to check those out, obviously no pressure at all. I greatly appreciate it if you do, but you watching the video is obviously more than enough. Thank you very much for watching. We do have a Discord if you would like to chat with other residents and stuff like that. LFG, share pictures of your pets, share memes, all that stuff. And yeah, that is pretty much going to do it for this video. Stay evil, my residents.